Well, hi there. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. But of course, you can call me Pajama Grandma. In case we haven't met yet, and this is the first time you're seeing my What's She Up To Now, go ahead and put hashtag pajama in the comments below. So I know it's the first time you are being exposed to me, because sometimes I'm a bit of an acquired taste, especially when I'm talking about topics that most people consider pretty controversial. Now I was thinking about Cant today, the word Cant. And I just, before I started this, wondered, is Cant just another false belief? Is it just another lie that we tell ourselves that keeps us stuck in a certain place or believing that we aren't able to do something when we totally and completely are able to do it? Now, none of us are born knowing how to do anything. I think when we're born, we can cry, we can breathe, we can do natural bodily functions, but pretty much we aren't able to do anything else. Everything we do is learned, things that we learn. We learn to walk, we learn to talk, we learn to read, we learn to write. Not everybody, but most people. We learn absolutely everything during our lifetime, right? We learn how to start businesses, we learn how to work for other people, we learn how to do certain jobs or skills or tasks, we learn how to cook or not, we learn how to do all kinds of other things. We learn everything. So why on earth would we ever think that we can't do something or that we can't learn something? You know, nobody's born being a rocket scientist or a brain surgeon or a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer. It's all something that we study and we learn, and we study what's available for knowledge based on the time that we learn that thing. It's part of the way I believe you got to be a lifelong learner. And I thought everybody believed that, but I've a long time ago come to realize that it's not true. It's true for me. I have to be a lifelong learner, but nobody else in the universe has to be. If they don't want to be, they don't have to be. But the whole topic of Cant came up. I pulled There's No Such Thing as Cant as the card I wanted to talk about for my Supersize Your Business Super Short today. And it's one of my favorite topics because my dad taught us, and my sisters and I, when we were little girls, that there's no such thing as can't. And he kind of drilled that into us repeatedly. I bet he told us hundreds of thousands of times there's no such thing as can't. Whenever one of us would say, I can't do this, I can't figure this out, I don't get this. You know, if it was our math homework and we asked for help and we said, I can't do this problem, he'd be like, really? There's no such thing as can't. Let's look at it. And then he would walk us through and show us and help us figure it out. We'd go to mom for English and dad for math or science or engineering. And then if my grandfather happened to be staying with us, anything else we would just ask him because he knew everything. He was like walking encyclopedias. When he passed away, he had a personal library of over 80,000 books. Fantastic. So whenever he came, we didn't have to do our homework or study. We would just ask him a question and he would tell us just so much information. But the whole topic of can't, I really think, as I'm thinking about it today, that anything we say after the phrase, I can't, we're right, we're not going to be able to figure it out or do it. Just like the opposite to me is anything we say, I am, we will be able to do, and we will be able to create in our lives. I guess I'd like to hear what people think about that. Is that true, or is that just my thinking? But I think I am is what we want to create in our life. I can't is what we don't want to create in our life. It's kind of like us just saying no to something. And that's okay. We get to say no to whatever we want. But I also think that it limits us in a lot of ways if we fall prey to the false belief that we can't do anything. Now, I'm about 5'1", 5'1.5", so am I ever going to be an NBA basketball player? That and my heart is a little bit, or I've abused my heart enough over the years that I'm not going to ever run up and down a basketball court. So I can't be a professional basketball player. I'm also 58 years old. So people could argue, oh, you can't do that. Well, guess what? That is not going to be a choice that I would ever even make. So is it I can't do that or I don't choose to do that? My dad was 5'6", maybe, sopping wet, and he played college basketball. He was an awesome college basketball player. And people would have probably told him and probably did say, well, Einar, you can't do that because you're way too short. Well, the man was quicker than sin. He was so fast he could run circles around the tall guys and he could shoot and score. So he was a great basketball player because he knew he could be, because he made up for his shortness in speed and agility and skill. So is there really any such thing as can't? I'm going to kind of go with my dad on this one, and I'm going to vote no. I won't, I don't want to, I'm not going to do it. I don't feel like it. Yeah, I do not want to rise to that challenge. It's not matching what I want to do or experience with my life, but it doesn't mean I can't do it. So, curious, weigh in today. What do you think of the word can't? And do you believe that there's no such thing as can't, or it's just a limiting belief, or it's our way of saying no to things in the world that we really don't want to do? Because I know I do that. I use I can't and I don't know instead of I don't want to do it, or it's not a priority for me because I don't want to hurt other people's feelings. And since most people never think about it, they take that excuse on face value, and then they just, they get it and they leave me alone and they don't worry about it. So that's what I'm thinking about today, and I guess I'm thinking about it because I'm working on my webinar, since I'm supposed to be talking about how I'm transitioning from offline to online businesses. It'd be nice if I talked about it, right? Working on my webinar, and I was feeling a little bad and kind of beating myself up about how long it was taking me to do my slides for my presentation, because it's really a webinar, it's just a web class or a presentation. And I've been working on them since last Thursday in a pretty big way, like several hours every day, whenever I can squeeze it into what else I'm doing. And I was feeling bad until yesterday. My friend Stephen Larson popped on and said he's been going 3 days nonstop working on his presentation slides for a presentation he's doing. And that made me feel so much better because he's like the master of doing these webinars and presentations. And instead of beating myself up now, I'm like, okay, I feel pretty good about this because I'm actually to the practicing stage where I'm going through now and I'm saying, okay, these are the slides I've got, and I'm just doing the little edits and tweaks to make sure that the flow is right, that it makes sense, and that I've got the right stories to help people understand what I'm trying to convey and teach in it. And so it's all a matter of perspective. So I'm getting there. I was thinking today was Thursday, so I'm super excited that it's only Wednesday because I want to do my presentation live today, probably on one of my obscure Facebook pages, so that I can just practice the timing and the delivery in my stories and the slides and make sure it flows right. I like to do it live, although it's scarier. That's why I like to do it live, because it's scarier. And I don't get to depend on editing or something. I really don't. All right, I don't know how to edit yet. So, and because I don't know how, because I have not taken the time consciously to figure that out. And to be honest, I probably never will. That's the kind of thing that I will always outsource, because it's the level of detail. Number one, I don't like that level of detail. And number two, I don't want to learn it. I don't think that there's any value to me learning it. I can very easily, there are so many people that are awesome at that I can find to help and have do that for me, that I don't need to know how to do that. So I don't edit my things, so I like to do them live because it makes me practice how do I act and behave in the flow, in the moment. If I'm on stage giving this presentation, questions and things are going to happen and come up, and the same thing happens in live presentations. I like that because it keeps me on my toes, and it proves to people I really know what the heck I'm talking about, because I can answer questions and do things on the fly. So that's why I like doing it live. I think it's better practice than, and I think it's better because it allows me to adjust and change things that need to be changed based on immediate feedback. I like that. That's it. That's what I'm working on today. And today's kind of a quiet day. I didn't schedule interviews on purpose this week for my podcast, because I want to get this presentation done and knocked out. And I'm looking at starting a 30-day challenge along that Supersize Your Business topic coming up on August 1st. So I actually want to map out and plan that out this time instead of just winging the topics. Normally I just do the topics based on what comes to me. If I'm doing a 30-day stress challenge and it's my challenge, I can do that, but it's somebody else's challenge. So I want the material to be presented in a way that makes sense to other people, not just to me. That's it. Have a fantastic day. Today was day 186. I don't know if I said that or not, but tomorrow will be, of course, day 187. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.